The year is 1999. Aryan Brotherhood leader Barry the Baron Mills holds an unfulfilled murder contract from imprisoned Gambino Mafia boss John Gotti. It's 3 years old, dating from Gotti's assault by a black inmate at Marion Federal Penitentiary back in 1996. And an AB soldier from Northern California named Ronnie Renegade Yandell was finally in position to fulfill Gotti's contract. But when Mills realized that Renegade Yandell was soon to be paroled, he stopped the hit. The Baron figured that Yandell's potential usefulness on the streets of the Bay Area to the AB exceeded the need to bring John Gotti's contract to fruition. The year is 2018, and legendary Contra Costa County meth cook Donnie Phillips is facing yet another set of federal charges in his long career. This time, though, he has a unique defense. Quote, "I was forced to sell large amounts of crystal methamphetamine to help my son fight his death penalty case." That's the defense he had his lawyer use. So how are these interesting but seemingly disconnected criminal events in fact connected? The answer is called FAME, the Family-Affiliated Irish Mafia, and its leader, the infamous white East Bay gangster Kobe Phillips, the son of Donnie Phillips. And just why was Kobe Phillips facing the death penalty? Supposedly causing his dad to get back into the meth cooking game even though he had retired to raise money for his son's defense? Well, that goes back to Ronnie Renegade Yandell, possibly. The AB guy who was allegedly going to handle John Gotti's murder contract. In May of 2001, about 2 years after his release from federal prison, Yandell caught a double murder case in El Sobrante, a city in Contra Costa County right next to Rodeo, which is where Kobe Phillips started the family-affiliated Irish Mafia. At this point, the government narrative goes, Kobe was running a multi-million-dollar yearly meth empire, possibly powered by his own father's cooking skills. Now remember, this is back before Mexican cartels had these super labs where they were creating meth and sending it over the border. Most meth is being cooked here in the United States. Ephedrine and pseudoephedrine were still easily obtainable. Kobe Phillips and his crew were spending their profits on trips to Benihana, Cadillac Escalades, and exotic pets, including a pair of alligators Kobe Phillips illegally shipped to California from Florida. Kind of ironic how people under the Aryan Brotherhood umbrella have the same tastes and spending habits as black rappers, but I guess pop culture is pop culture. Now, according to Tom Kinsock, a former Contra Costa County Deputy District Attorney, he was the one that prosecuted Kobe Phillips, Kobe's major problems began while Ronnie Yandell was fighting his double murder case in the early 2000s. According to this theory, while awaiting trial on his own 2 murders, Yandell allegedly ordered Aryan Brotherhood members or associates Kobe Phillips and another guy named Daryl Brockett to kill the witnesses in his case, and that didn't happen. He got convicted. He's in prison for that now. And some people say that Kobe Phillips flat out refused to even try and do it. And the family-affiliated Irish Mafia, FAME, as a street group tied directly to the prison AB, they would have had to follow orders from a guy like Renegade Yandell. In 2010, for example, a FAME member in California State Prison was charged with killing another white inmate because of his crime, the killing of a 9-year-old girl. I think it might have been a vehicular homicide, but I could be wrong. And that's FAME enforcing AB policy for the white inmates on the main line. They were getting them off the yard. They're doing a removal. Well, they permanently removed that guy from the world. Quote, "What I had heard was Kobe or Brockett were told to then kill one another," is what former prosecutor Tom Kinsock said, meaning when they didn't follow Renegade Yandell's orders, they were told to kill each other. And as we speak, Ronnie Yandell is currently under indictment for running the California Aryan Brotherhood from his prison cell that he was sent to and for those 2 murders, and ordering multiple murders and selling meth and heroin from cell phones Kobe Phillips has been in prison since '05 when he was arrested on federal drug charges. So this played out for a long time. He was working the case, I guess trying to make a plea agreement, and he was 3 years had passed. It was February of '08. He was still working on that case, and a criminal grand jury convened to discuss several shootings, including the slaying of Daryl Grockett and the non-fatal shooting of a guy named Jose Hernandez in Richmond, which is another city in the east. I think Spice One is from Richmond. In 2004, Grockett ended up getting shot to death along an unincorporated country road. Was this Kobe Phillips' way of clearing up his refusal to hit the witnesses in Yandell's case? Well, that's one prosecution theory, but the prosecutors had a second story. In court, prosecutors presented the theory that Phillips killed Grockett because Grockett was gonna rob, basically, connect two of Phillips' associates. They were two brothers named Jose Vega Robles and Sergio Vega Robles. They were Southsider gang members, but they were also selling Sinaloa cartel drugs. I don't know if that's at the point where the Mexicans started sending meth in, or maybe Phillips was also selling cocaine. The night of the killing, Phillips, Vega Robles, and a third man who's still at large, Josue Lomelli, ate dinner together at the Dead Fish restaurant. Then they left for a meetup with Daryl Grockett. Daryl Grockett was found dead later that night. He'd been shot once in the mouth and fallen to the ground. Then someone stood over him and emptied a clip into his chest. So Kobe Phillips was first tried from Daryl Grockett's murder back in 2013, and he got a hung jury. The case against him had been poisoned by an ex-Richmond City police drug investigator, Sergeant Michael Wang, who it came out had been aiding the Vega Robles brothers in their drug enterprise. He was taking kickbacks and giving them carte blanche to do what they wanted in Richmond, and giving them info about witnesses, including the Hernandez guy who got shot. And he assured them if they sold drugs in Richmond, they wouldn't be caught. Sergeant Wang ended up getting fired after an internal affairs investigation found out he'd committed serious policy violations. Really, they were felonies, but looks like the Richmond police covered up for him. So the other shooting that Kobe Phillips was thought to be involved in, the guy named Hernandez, well, the records of that all sort of went away. And as the case was proceeding a little bit, it appeared that the Sergio Vega Robles, who turned out to have been an informant, said that Wang was feeding him information, and it sort of implied that he and Wang conspired to shoot this guy Hernandez, but Wang hasn't gotten any charges. Meanwhile, everybody else is in prison. Sounds like one of the snitches against Phillips and the corrupt Richmond cop actually conspired to get rid of Hernandez.